Okay, so we're on to the final season of Degrassi before they made a name change. So basically, there's a lot of flowing timelines with some issues: teenage pregnancy, dysfunctional families, sexism, arson, sexting, sexual texting, sexual identity, miscarriages, anxiety disorders, drug use, child abuse, abstinence, gang violence. The 14th season was announced November 13th, but MTV Canada and Nick did not pick up the season until a month before the first episode was aired. So basically, it started on October 28th, 2014 and went to August 2nd, 2015. However, on June 4th, 2015, it was announced that Degrassi would no longer air on Nick or MTV Canada. However, 5 days later, Family Channel and Netflix picked up the series and aired Degrassi Next Class, making it Degrassi Next Class. And it did feature the Telenovela soap opera format. They aired episodes 5 days a week for the last 2 weeks of the season. There were 28 episodes. So there were a lot of people. I think Chewie was in 24. So anyway, a lot of crew. First was Smells Like Teen Spirit. Claire makes a life-changing decision regarding her pregnancy and tries to tell Drew. Zoe wants to join Becky's power cheer team, but is told that she'll be a distraction because of everything that happened last term. And Miles' dad worries that the secret relationship with Tristan will ruin his political prospects. Wise Up is when Mr. Hollinsworth thinks he can buy Miles' support and crafts a plan to protect his family. Zoe's tired of being judged for sexual assault and wants to take matters in her own hands. Drew is adamant about not having a baby, but basically Claire offers him an out. If You Could Only See was the third episode, and Frankie's tired of the double standard on girls and boys. Becky realizes she isn't the same girl that she used to be after going on a terrible date, and Maya actually becomes worried about Miles after he begins to skip class and all that. So anyway, next episode is Can't Stop This Thing That We Started. When Eli comes home, Claire has to muster up the courage to tell him about the situation with them and the baby. Winston is jealous of Tristan's relationship with Miles, and Sig feels emasculated when Grace beats him at arm wrestling. Sig wants to be a man. Next episode is There's Your Trouble. Becky is reluctant to visit Luke in juvenile detention, mostly because, the bankers are making Becky not persona non grata for testifying against Luke. This was the last episode of Luke thing. So he pushes the squad too hard and faces an uphill battle when they need to stop chatting nudes for money. Eli and Claire face an obstacle in the relationship because of the pregnancy. Crazy is when Maya has the recurring nightmare about Miles and thinks that he needs help, but it's probably her. So, regardless of what ends up happening, this was the episode that a lot of people were scared about because Maya had nightmares about Miles, and Miles made a comment. I know I said on previous videos that, Miles takes Maya away from social media because basically she's stalking him or something like that. But Miles makes a post saying that he's going to kill himself, and Maya thinks the worst because, Miles, that was kind of what happened with Cam, Cam's behavior before he committed suicide. Maya can't let there be a second suicide in her life. She already lost Cam. So anyway, what ends up happening is that the nightmare with Miles. Now, they never talked about this, but I think the Miles, her subconscious probably made it as Miles protecting her from dealing with Cam because I think Maya never got over Cam's death. I'll Be Missing You is when Zoe's Sweet 16 takes a horrifying turn when people try to reveal the truth about the Degrassi nudes. Tristan wants to talk to Miles about his behavior, and Dallas does not like the fact that Allie's future plans don't include him. Hush is when Tristan, Winston, Frankie, and Hunter stage an intervention for Miles about his weed problems. The power cheer team tries to figure out who's the blackmail for the cheer competition, and Becky makes friends with Jonah and all that. Something's got to give. Happens when Imogen's on a mission to find out who's behind Degrassi Nudes and finds out that Jack is involved. Maya lies to the police about an accident to protect Miles from his dad's wrath, and Drew wants to keep Becky happy. All that, but he has a situation with Claire. This was obviously the episode when Miles has that accident. Maya tries to avoid Miles's problems. And Maya's mom basically chews her out, but Maya says, I have to protect him. This is what I do. Well, her mom and the police agree that yes, Maya should be concerned about other people, but she shouldn't jeopardize her life for someone. Basically, Maya has thoughts about Miles and all that. Hero versus villain is when Mr. Simpson calls an assembly to find out about Degrassi Nudes. Zoe tries to end the threatening messages once and for all. Claire has to tell Drew that the baby is not actually Drew's, it's actually Eli. Basically, what ends up happening is that Claire is told about some kind of like ultrasound, and then the doctor said that it was like 3 or 4 weeks prior, and then Claire realizes that she didn't have sex with Drew at that time, it was with Eli. Firestarter is basically the episode when the Degrassi Nudes thing basically blows up in everyone's faces. As word about the fundraising scandal spreads, Frankie convinces the cheerleaders to pin Degrassi Nudes on Zoe. All that. Claire's future is in doubt because her pregnancy is public information. And of course, Miles' dad has some issues with Miles. Winston and Frankie's plan to get revenge on Zoe backfires, and Eli tries to find things with Claire, finding out the father of the baby. Watch Out Now is basically when we find a new sheriff in town. It's Miss Pill instead of Mr. Simpson. Mr. Simpson basically gets canned for his ignorance towards the Degrassi Nudes situation, and basically Miss Pill comes in, Tiny's aunt. She makes a few changes, but it doesn't really work out. I'll get more into that later. But anyway, Zoe faces criminal charges for her part in Degrassi Nudes, and basically everyone hates her for it. She tries to say, well, don't you have anything else better to do? But no. Prostitution of underage girls and all that is not funny. So anyway, Winston's musical is being at Degrassi in Ready or Not, episode 14, but can't bring Lola on as leading lady. Claire and Eli have feelings for each other and can't be co-parents. Wish list is when the twins celebrate their birthday, Hunter and Frankie. Frankie wants to make amends to her father, but is reluctant until she realizes she can use him financially. Maya can't do a lot of things. Walking in my shoes is when Zoe's forced to work in the cafeteria and face her angry classmates. Frankie tries to cheat off Lola, and basically Imogen decides to come out to her parents, but she doesn't know how much she's given up. Next episode is Get It Together, when Becky finds out that Jonah has had sex before. She wants herself wanting more from Jonah sexually without breaking her vow to God. Maya has her nemesis Tristan in gym class. Claire and Eli take care of Dallas's son for practice for their baby. Give Me One Reason is when Maya and Sig decide to try to end their relationship when their mother catches them making out, but they have to be honest. Unfortunately, Claire and Eli take a trip to New York to get her to Columbia, and of course her son got stillborn. I Want to Be Adored is when Allie feels like her BFF is being distant and questions their relationship. Claire continues to miss prom community meetings because of her problems. So anyway, Sig moves in with Tiny and Vince and falls into old habits. Teenage Riot is when Sig lets Maya visit his place, but basically the little birds take things too far. Claire is valedictorian, but After the camera, after she finds out what the cameras did around school are being used for, she can't do it. She smashes the cameras. She loses valedictorian to Connor. The kids aren't all right. Is a two-parter that basically um, has a lot of things. Sig learns the truth about what happened to David and thinks he's an accomplice to a crime. Frankie has feelings for Winston and tries to test his fidelity. Becky is forced to work with Drew at a hospital. And then basically, Damon's crew wants to get revenge on Sig. Sig brings a gun to protect himself, but it doesn't work out. Winston realizes that he cannot perform well without Frankie by his side. And Becky doesn't know how to forgive Jonah. Finally, is when it's prom time, and Drew plans a promposal. Sadly, though, Drew's promposal broke the rules of the faction on school grounds. Now, you may know that Connor made one to Jenna, but Connor made one kind of off school grounds, so that he was fine. Sadly, though, Drew is not allowed to attend prom and all that. Miles tries to salvage his relationship with Hunter by trying to help him with Arlene. Claire begins to worry about her future after everyone's going to go on their separate ways. It's graduation. And then Drew helps Dallas say prom night, but is punished and unable to participate in the graduation ceremony. Claire is unsure of her future plans, including where she stands with Eli. Imogen thinks she wins Jack back, but nothing happens. So pretty much what ends up happening is that Drew, with his mother's help, decides to help Dallas salvage prom night. Dallas thought he had the right idea with the vote on prom night. Sadly, though, it ends up being that Dallas booked it 1 year too late, like, 1 year too far ahead. So Drew gets him to the school to have a prom. He's in trouble. Drew is offered a chance by Pill to finger point at other people. Drew refuses. Drew is allowed to graduate, but he'll get his diploma at a later time, and he's not allowed to be on the stage. Dallas thinks it's unfair, and then, he looks disturbed. Claire actually finds Mr. Simpson in the audience. After his termination, Mr. Simpson basically has decided to try to turn his life around by basically helping out in Haiti and all that. And he actually helps Claire realize about her past and all that, her future, mostly because in a previous iteration of Degrassi, Next Generation, Simpson helped Darcy deal with her rape problems in season 7, although it didn't go over so well. So yeah. So of course Mr. Armstrong hands out the diplomas because Mr. Simpson is ineligible because he's fired, and Miss Pill obviously hasn't been around the students much, so they need a teacher. And Mr. Armstrong is there. Sadly, though, Drew's not allowed to cross the stage. He tells his mom that he feels bad that none of her kids got to cross the stage because, Adam died and then Drew's there. But Audra says that things are much better and doesn't mind it. But in a nice touch, the graduating class puts a letter on each of their graduation caps and says, "We love you, Drew." Hill is touched, basically saying that the school taught her one thing. They stand up for each other and allows Drew to get back on the stage to graduate. We are Degrassi. It was kind of weird seeing all these people. And then, we all thought this series would end and all that. That's what I thought. So as it turns out, they did a 4-part show called Degrassi Don't Look Back, but that was only 3 days after Degrassi ended. So basically, it's a movie special. Maya has high hopes of spending the summer lifeguarding at the beach with Sig, but she fails her CPR class. Basically, she gets a nanny job for a music producer, but is foiled by Gloria, who gets the job. Frankie's pumped for a summer job as a City Hall intern, but it's an uphill battle with the other interns. So he's determined to go through summer school by writing the coattails of Hunter and Grace, because, Zoe has problems. A lot of things happen. And Gloria goes missing and all that. And people were like, so much. Maya is told to stand up to to the music producer, basically saying that, I have a life too, Zeke is upset that Maya brings kids along with her. Um, but it's revealed that Grace is actually in a blackmail attempt with the guy Frankie likes, and basically trying to get money from the Hollingsworths. They do crack the case and all that. It was interesting. I thought this would be the end of Degrassi, and then all of a sudden Tristan, after his vlog, said that you think everything is normal, but check out the next year. It's going to get weirder and all that. And I'm like, what? It's not over? There's a new thing called Degrassi Next Class. So now comes the hard part. My MVP. I don't know who should be my MVP. I mean, I know that Zoe is my anti-hero because of all the Degrassi nude shit. I would like to say Claire, but I already said Claire. The rules are you only get one season. Ugh, fuck. And Maya's already put down for a future season. Sig is already there. Oh, I don't know who would be the hero of season 14. Who deserves to be a hero of season 14? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I'll have to figure it out. So yeah, I'll post it in the Reddit. I'll talk to the Reddit community about this, but yeah, I don't know who would be the best person in season 14. It seemed like everything was a blur, and Claire's already been season 8, so I don't know what to do. I just don't know what to do. Anyway, I'll talk about Degrassi Next Class next.